Why Gary Pepper Girl? Where did you get that name from?
I do wish that the story was a little bit more exciting, but my boyfriend actually came up with the name. Luke Chabot actually had a lot to do with the start of Gary Pepper. So he really inspired me and encouraged me to start my own business, really gave me the confidence to believe in myself. And so I find it just sounds quite boring, but it's actually, you know, a very fitting story that I owe a lot of the beginning of Gary Pepper to him.
And it really did start with vintage, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, and it's obviously evolved a lot since then.
Yeah.
But is your true love vintage fashion?
I think my love was always fashion, so I would always change my outfits, you know, 2 or 3 times a day when I was younger. And then when I would get in trouble, I would just take all my clothes off and rebel. So I always had a very strong love for fashion, but it wasn't until high school that I really fell in love with vintage, just because I wanted to be a little bit different from everyone else and be a little bit unique. So vintage offered that. And then after I finished and graduated high school, I just had accumulated so much vintage that I was like, well, it makes sense to start a business from this. I really thought that I had a skill at curating beautiful vintage, and I launched with an eBay store and had a fashion blog launch on the same day. So the eBay store evolved into its own e-commerce site after 12 months. It was a company, had 3 full-time staff, and the blog was just more so the hobby. And just as time evolved and passed, I had to choose between 2. So I still love vintage. I was always be loyal to vintage, but I think it was more so fashion, and that was where my passion lied. So I still get to do that with my blog.
And in terms of the financial side of blogging, I mean, lots of bloggers would be wanting to be really successful, but haven't reached your success at all. Are there any challenges there, or is it really positive?
I think there's always going to be challenges when you're freelancing. So, you know, we don't have the stability of being paid on a salary, unfortunately. So I think it just drives us to work even harder, because obviously with this lifestyle, it's expensive. Everyone thinks that it's paid for, but we invest it all ourselves. I did one sponsorship for Fashion Week, and I'm glad I did it because it taught me that it just wasn't for me.
Right. So you'll go back to funding things yourself,
yeah, exactly.
And then doing independent jobs when you're on
so
location. Is that how you work?
I explain it like freelancing. So Fashion Week, obviously you have to be there. It's a great time to catch everyone in the same city, but it's you're running a business. It's an investment. Yeah. That's the way I justify it anyway, and it makes me really find the content when I'm over there, because I've spent so much money to be there. Yeah. You know, like we said, there's misconceptions. Everyone thinks, you know, it's really easy and you get flown everywhere, and it is really, really hard. But like any industry, you just have to work hard and make it work.